So the traits of domesticated humans, according to Arthur Haines, are a blunted awareness. This is number one, and this is what I want to point and emphasize. Blunted awareness, that's insulting. Straight up. I don't like hearing that. Blunted awareness, right? To where you can be taken advantage of, duped under your nose. If there were a tribal society and members of that tribe were damaging the planet Earth for their own profit or for their own gain in some way, that is not something that the other members of the tribe would tolerate. Either it's the population density or just the fact that our awareness is at an all-time low. There's a somatic amnesia. People barely feel into their body. Our movement is uncoordinated. Half the time we can't tell if we're in stress response or not. We have stress response firing all over the place. Thoughts out of control, very distractible. This is blunted awareness, and this is something that it's really not, like, it's a taboo. There's a whole taboo against human domestication or talking about it because nobody wants to admit that human beings are wild animals in the first place, or at least partly. And I think about this and I'm just like insulted, man, by the idea that my awareness is blunted to that extent, by the idea that my movement is uncoordinated. Honestly, like, I'm a little bit, it's tough because what are you going to do with all the emotion, you know? Like, you might be angry that you were fed foods that didn't help you growing up, and maybe as a result of that, like, maybe you would not have some of the issues that you have today. Maybe I would not have some of the issues that I had today if it weren't for the way that I was brought up, the food that I eat, the training I was introduced to. But of course, we can never go backwards, so it doesn't do much good for us to just sit here and be like, sorry, that actually did me some good. It doesn't do us much good to just sit here and think about how much better it would have been if. We have to find a way to bridge the gap. That's the only way to do it. Arthur Haines, his book is called A New Path, and it is the path to bridge that gap. So, blunted awareness for one. Altered diet. Right? Domesticated animals have to be able to survive on an altered diet that is convenient for the person that's taking care of the animal. The convenience of the domesticator. In this case, we domesticated ourselves, so it's for the convenience of society at large. Blunted awareness, altered diet. Inability to reproduce in the wild. This one is sensitive too, man. They're all sensitive subjects. That's why there's a big taboo around it. But just think about it. If we take even like heightened numbers of birth defect out of it, infertility rates are higher than they've been as well. People are consulting doctors in order to have children. In the past, people had children by mistake. When a species can no longer reproduce on its own without outside help, that's a symptom of domestication. It's also the reason why elephants are not actually domesticated. Elephants don't reproduce in captivity, which is kind of cool. So elephants are only partially domesticated. There were those three things, and then the fourth one is an altered temperament. Altered temperament kind of says, it's all good. I'll just hang out here, it's fine. It's that thing, the meme where the room is on fire and the guy's just drinking his coffee, like, yeah, it's okay. Everything's kind of okay. It's all good. With these pieces in place, considering those four traits, the quality of life for our children is going to be determined by the way that we act right now. Our quality of life has been determined by the generations immediately preceding us, the quality of food they ate, the increased rates of autoimmune disease and infertility, anxiety, all that stuff. I would submit to you that there is only one disease. We've moved away from the natural way.